Xbox wants to be the gaming platform for everybody. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here and you enjoy what you see throughout this video, hey, maybe consider subscribing to help this channel grow. I also want to let you guys know that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am going to be streaming a look at Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is a brand new game from Ubisoft Quebec, which comes out on December 3rd. So if you want to check out that game to see if it's for you, make sure to stop by that stream. Again, that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 27th. So Phil Spencer had an interview with The Verge. He went over a lot of stuff, and one of the most interesting things he talked about was the Xbox Series S and the argument and pushback internally against releasing this console. Now, as we know, with the release of the next generation Xbox, there was the Xbox Series X, which is the higher powered machine, which is $200 more than the Xbox Series S, which is less powerful, but also a $200 less entry point for the next generation. On the Xbox Series S, you're still going to get access to Game Pass. You're going to get access to the next generation games. You just won't be playing those games in 4K, and you may be lacking ray tracing for some of them. But we're still very early on in this generation. Games haven't been optimized really for either the S or the X. We won't really see how these two consoles are going to fare against each other until we get further down the line. Obviously, the Xbox Series X being focused on 4K gaming and the Xbox Series S being focused on 1440p and 1080p gaming. Well, it looks like when developing these consoles and coming up with the Xbox Series S, there was some pushback internally from people who didn't want to release this console and create a second SKU, and then people who were for releasing this second SKU. Phil Spencer said in this interview that the entry-level Xbox Series S was questioned a number of times internally. Despite the reservations and Spencer having a ton of respect for what Sony does, Microsoft persisted to create a $299 Series S, which is obviously a more affordable price and an easier entry point into the next generation. And the reasoning for this, Phil Spencer says, is because they wanted to include as many gamers as possible into the next generation and have them playing in the Xbox ecosystem. Him here saying, it was really this inclusion. How do we include more people in the launch euphoria and hype everything that happens and make it as accessible to as many more people as possible? We want to think about how we can bring more people into the gaming funnel, have more people experience this art form that we love. The pushback against doing one console was always, but we want to grow. We want to find new customers. Now, comparing this to Sony's next generation idea, they released the disc drive for $499 and then the all digital drive for $399. But I have a feeling that they would have priced these consoles a bit differently if it wasn't for the Xbox Series S being released, which really lowered the price point for the next generation. I mean, no one's ever going to admit that, but that's just kind of my theory on what they did with the PlayStation 5 after seeing the announcement of the Xbox Series S. But it makes a lot of sense overall with the strategy of Xbox and with the release of the S, trying to get more people into the ecosystem with Game Pass. Because if you look overall with the strategy of Microsoft, they are turning the Xbox ecosystem into a platform that can be accessed from anywhere on pretty much any device. It's no longer a battle of how many physical consoles can we push into people's homes. It's not even a battle anymore for Microsoft. It's more of how can we get more people into the Xbox ecosystem? How can we get more people subscribed? And this all comes back to xCloud and streaming, and then obviously having those powerful consoles for people that want the best optimal experience playing video games. Now, this was another article that came out of The Verge, another thing that Phil Spencer talked about, and it was hinting at bringing Xbox into an app on your TV. So as you know, with smart TVs now, you have so many different apps like Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime, YouTube, all those types of things that you can access directly for your TV. And soon it looks like we may be seeing a Xbox xCloud app or an Xbox Game Pass app right on your smart TV. In fact, there's already preview apps for things like Google TV, I believe, where you can get access or sideload xCloud onto a Chromecast TV dongle, even though the experience isn't great on it because it isn't optimized and it isn't released yet. So we can already start to see that this is something we're going to see going forward into the future. Phil Spencer here revealing that we'll most likely see an Xbox app appear on smart TVs over the next year, saying, I think we're going to see that in the next 12 months. I don't think anything is going to stop us from doing that, basically adding an xCloud app onto your TV. And if you look at xCloud already, you can already access it on Android devices. So on your phone, you download the Game Pass app, you're going to be able to start streaming games directly from the xCloud app. And I've used it before. It works well. You do have to have a good internet connection. Your internet connection is going to be the big determining factor for how well xCloud and how well streaming going into the future is going to work. There are also reports earlier that they were going to release just a dongle, like a Chromecast that you could just plug into your TV. But I think it makes a lot more sense for them to just release an app that you can access right through your smart TV. He also reiterates that if you have a console, you don't have any worries because there is absolutely no plans to abandon consoles or hardware, saying, I don't think these will be the last big pieces of hardware that we ship, meaning that most likely going to have another generation of consoles. Now, how do I see that next generation of consoles after the Xbox Series X, even though these have just launched, is that I think they're just going to be just pure digital devices. I mean, this is most likely the last age of the disc era. And that's why I love the Xbox Series X already. It's because it has that disc drive and it has that backwards compatibility. So if you're somebody like me who has tons of physical media, tons of backwards compatible games, at least you still have the option to play those on your newest console and not have to plug in every other previous generation console to play them, at least if they're Xbox games. Phil Spencer goes on to say that Microsoft sees the future where there's a hybrid of local hardware and cloud hardware. When we think about xCloud, which is our version of Stadia and Luna, I think that it needs to evolve to our games that actually run between a hybrid environment of the cloud and the local compute ability. It's really a hybrid between both of these. Now, for me, that's very encouraging to see because me personally, I'll use streaming at times, but I would much rather play my games off of the hardware to get the best possible experience, and they're going to continue obviously supporting that going forward. So with the release of the Xbox Series S and X, whether you have an S or an X, at least you have the option of having that S at a lower price point. So if you want to have that hardware capability at least set up on one TV in your house, you're still going to be able to get that. You're still being able to jump into the next generation at a lower price point. And then you're also going to be able to use xCloud and the streaming services that are available now and coming out in the future from Xbox. Microsoft also has plans to integrate xCloud into Facebook gaming into the future. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but they had Mixer and they integrated stuff like that into Mixer where they had Xbox community people coming on doing streams and stuff like that. We'll probably see something like that going into the future with Facebook gaming. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Facebook and Facebook gaming in general, so I don't know how that's really going to work out for Xbox. I feel like they could have gone with a different streaming provider or just kind of doubled down on Mixer and tried to improve that, but we'll have to wait and see how that works. But yeah, Xbox is really trying to be that place for everyone. They don't care where you play, how you play. They just want you subscribed to their ecosystem. And by being subscribed to their ecosystem, you're getting a ton of value. So it's not like they're trying to force something on you that isn't worth what you're paying for. So it's really, really exciting going forward into the next generation of consoles. I'm excited to see how xCloud evolves, how they improve the Surface, and how many more games are going to be available through game streaming through Xbox's xCloud. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to hit that thumbs down button, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Have you tried out xCloud yet? Do you believe in game streaming for the future? And are you excited for the future of Xbox? Also, I want to remind you guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, I am going to be streaming Immortals Phoenix Legends at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So make sure to tune in. That game releases on December 3rd. It is a brand new IP from Ubisoft. And if you want to see how the game is, make sure to stop by the stream tomorrow night. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for all your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.